Hey, what is up guys? It is Mike coming at you from SCTV, that is Sandwich Community Television, and today we're going to take a look at Adobe Premiere CC. And this is the first tutorial in this series, so today we're going to go over the absolute bare essentials you need to start editing. So we're going to start by opening Premiere. This is CC 2015. Okay, so we start here. You see New, and we're going to start a new project. And now, let's name this project whatever you want. So this blue right here, this text, I will name it Toot1. Right now, we don't have to worry about video rendering and playback. We don't have to worry about the time code, audio samples, capture format, so on and so forth. We will get to those later. What we do want to look at is this box right here, location and scratch disks. So for location, this is saying, where is this project located? Where are you putting all of your stuff? Where can we, Adobe Premiere, put all of our stuff so you can get to it easily? So right now they have that as the default. That's users/public/documents/adobe/premiere/9.0. Now that works fine, and to find that you would just follow that path. So go to your documents, you'd see Adobe, you'd see Premiere, you'd see 9.0. When you click on that folder, you'd see Toot1. I probably should have named it something other than Toot. But anyways, that is where your folder is. If you'd like to change it, say if you think it's easier to have it on the desktop, which we'll do for this one, we can choose right here and click Choose. Now what that's going to do is create a folder that will have all of our files in it, that will have all of our information with it. So another easy thing to do is if you have a portable hard drive, you can save the information there. If not, don't worry about it. The default location is perfectly fine as well. Now if we go to scratch disks, this is a bit more specific, but we're not going to worry about captured video, we're not going to worry about capture audio, but we are going to worry about video previews, audio previews, auto saves, and we don't need to worry about the downloads. But what this is saying is we're going to have our one master folder that's going to have all of our stuff in it. But if we wanted to be more specific, we could have different folders for different things. So say I want my video previews in a folder called video previews, I want my audio previews in a folder called audio previews. Not necessarily important now when you're just starting off, but later that can come in handy. So what we're going to do now is click OK. Okay, so here we are in Premiere. We made it. It's looking great. Now, right now we're not seeing too much. We are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 blank windows. Import media, drop media, program, no sequences, nothing. And before we start anything, I just want to let you guys know that I am simply showing you the tools on how to edit. And what I mean by that is what I show you is not hard and fast rules. A lot of things with editing you can do 2 or 3 different ways. I'm not showing you the only correct way. I'm showing you what I find to be the easiest. And another piece of information is that I'm only showing you tools. And what I mean by that is even though I'm showing you how to do something specific with a certain tool, that is not the only thing that you can do with the tool. So for example, if I gave you a hammer and I taught you how to build a birdhouse, you can do a lot more with that hammer than just build a birdhouse. So that's just something to keep in mind. Anyways, let's get down to business. So where my mouse is, I'm wiggling it back and forth. It looks like a sticky note with a little page flapped up and it says new item. We're going to click that. And now when you see that, we have all of these different selections. Right now we're going to focus on sequence. So when we click sequence, we have a lot of different things that we can choose from. We have digital SLR, we have Canon XF, MPEG-2, Red, all this crazy stuff. That is really just Premiere's way of trying to say, how can we make this easier? And by doing that, they make it look a lot more confusing. So if we go, say, digital SLR, so if you have a Canon T3i, T4i, anything like that, if you drop down, you have 1080p, 480p, 720p. All that is video size. So 1080p is the biggest, 720p is the second biggest, and 480p is the smallest. Now if we drop all of these down, you see we have 1080p 24, 1080p 25, 1080p 30, 640 by 480 50, 640 by 480 60. All these different numbers that right now really we don't need to focus on. I will explain all of these in a later tutorial which will make things a lot easier to understand, but I want to show you something that's really great with Premiere, and this is one of the things I mentioned before about there's a lot of ways to do the same thing. So say we have no idea what this is and we just want to import our footage and we just want to edit it, we want to get down to business, we want to have a sick montage of our vacation, so on and so forth. So we're going to get out of this, we're going to click cancel. And what we're going to do instead is go to File, Import, and we're going to click our file. Say we want this one, SCT Summer Camp. The file is imported, boom, there it is right there. Another way to do that is simply click and drag. The beauty of this is instead of selecting all of those settings that I didn't really know, Premiere can read all of the information about the video for us. So unless we wanted something specific, so this is a 720 clip, if I wanted this clip to be stretched to be 1080 size, I would have to do that myself. But since Premiere can read these settings and I want the settings to stay true, I'm just going to click and drag over here. Wow, that's a good looking guy. Okay, great. So we have our clip. It is in the timeline. You could see it in the program window. But now there's this clip right here. What this clip is a sequence. So what we did was create a sequence, which is right here. And in the sequence, you can have multiple clips, you can have audio, you can have effects, you can have all of this great stuff. But that's what this is right here. What's a little confusing is that it takes the thumbnail of the first video you imported, so it looks like we just have two of the same thing. But you'll see if I click down here, we can quickly scrub through the preview. Same here too, we can quickly scrub through all of this wonderful video. So to make things a little easier, I'm going to double click on the title and I'm going to rename that to Tut1. How about we say Tut instead of Toot? So now you can see I changed the name here, and in turn the name changed right here. Now I'm going to skip explaining all of this right now just because this is the bare essentials to edit a video. So there's a lot of ways to start editing. First thing you can do is see up here where it says source, no clips. We're going to click that. If we drag the original clip that we had over here into this window, now we have it twice, but this is the source. So this is the bare video with no effects, no editing or anything. This is what we would see after we edited it. So say Nick and I were talking on camera for 5 minutes before we actually started talking to the camera and recording what we wanted to say. So what we would do is grab this right here and we would scroll forward and say, okay, this is where we want the video to start. So to do that, you would press the letter I, which sets your in point. And now say, at the end of the video, I was like, oh, Nick, that was so good. And we just started talking and talking and talking, but we didn't hit stop on the camera. Instead of dragging that into the timeline and then cutting it in the timeline, we're just going to go to around here and press O. And what's great about this is that it's very movable. So say, oh no, we wanted to actually end here, press O and it will extend. And then say, oh, we wanted the video to start a little earlier, press I, and we're in. Now let's delete this video that was not edited at all by pressing delete, and we can drag this into our timeline. And on the timeline, this top section is our video, this bottom section is our audio. So if we go to the wrench and we click expand all tracks, you can see here's our audio waveform. We're gonna click this to zoom in. Here's our audio waveform and here is the video. Now say Nick and I love the way we sound, but we hate the way we look. If we want to just import the audio, there's a little button right here that we can click and drag and just drop the audio in. Same goes with the video. Okay, but we have our clip in. We are ready to go. We want to make some edits. There's some mistakes in the middle that we want to cut out. I'm going to show you the standard way to do it first, and then I'm going to show you a little shortcut that I set up for myself when I'm editing a lot of clips to make my workflow as fast as possible. Alright, great. So now it is time to actually edit. Now we're going to cut some parts out. Say someone's talking over your family vacation or something along those lines. We want to get that middle part out when they're speaking. The first thing we're going to do is highlight our clip. To do that, just click and drag. Both of them will turn white or they will highlight. And now we're going to use this scrubber up here. Just by clicking, wherever you click on the timeline, the scrubber will shoot to. And you could also drag it. We're going to find something that we don't like. Okay, this explosion. Say I hate explosions in my video. For whatever reason, I like very calm videos. I don't like to see fields explode. That's just not my thing. One way of doing this is going to our razor tool, and we can either click that and have the tool, or we can use the keyboard shortcut of pressing C. So now we have this open. And what we're going to do is grab this, and we're going to get really close so we can see exactly when this happens. So now we're going frame by frame. Okay, and that's right where the explosion starts. And I don't even want to see it start. I'm just so disgusted. So we're going to click right here, and we're going to slice our footage. So I just sliced the video, and I sliced the audio. Now I'm going to drag out to see where the end of that explosion is. That's close to the end. So we're going to zoom in and cut right there. That is where the explosion is gone. So I'm going to click and cut, click and cut. And now you'll see I have this segment right here that is different than these two videos. So I can take this and separate that, and now I have space there, or I can delete this, which is what I want to do. So I'm going to highlight right here and I'm going to press delete. So we're good. Now we have this video and this video. But the problem is that now where that video was is just black. There's nothing there, no sound, no nothing, and then we come back. And that's not how you usually see editing. There's no giant gaps between movies or anything like that. So a quick way to close this gap is to click this gray space right here and press delete. Now what we're doing is deleting that blank space. So if you have, say, 40 clips after that spot, it's really helpful to be able to just delete that blank space and have all of the clips follow. And what that's called is a ripple delete. So that's a great way to do it. If you have the blade tool, you click, you click, you click, you click. You go back to your main tool, click, delete, delete, da-da-da-da. But that takes a lot of time. Clicking is oftentimes not the quickest way to do things. Oh, and by the way, to undo any move you made, so you're like, you delete your entire project, oh my gosh, just press either Command or Control Z, and it's back. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to set up a shortcut. And this is a shortcut that I do myself that really speeds up my workflow. Some people may not like this. You may not like it. You may like clicking. If you do, that is totally fine. But this is how I edit quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top over here where it says Premiere Pro CC. And if you're on a Windows machine, I believe this is all under File. But we're going to go to Premiere CC. We're going to go to Keyboard Shortcuts. And what we're going to type in is Add Edit, and you can see the shortcut for that is Command K. And we're going to type in Ripple Delete, and the shortcut for that is Shift Forward Delete. So that's all well and great, but I like things to be very quick and very short. I like one-letter shortcuts. So you can keep these shortcuts. With my method, we are overriding 2 shortcuts, but that is not a problem for me. I use these way more than any other shortcut, so I figured why not have them front and center. So we're going to type in Add Edit again, and Command K. I'm going to click that and just type S. So now that shortcut is used by the snap command, which is a very helpful thing, but it's also right here, and it's not used as much as my Add Edit. Another shortcut that is very, very helpful is this one right here, Add Edit to all tracks. So how I was cutting the audio and the video before one by one, this is where this comes in handy. And since I don't use this as much and I just overwrote the Command K shortcut, I like to change this to Command K as well. Command K. Make sure you press them at the same time. Okay, so great. So now Add Edit is S, and all Add Edit means is cut. And Add Edit to all tracks is Command K. Now we want to type in Ripple Delete. Here we are. And you want to click here, and I like D, not Shift D, just D. And I'm going to click OK. So now we have 2 shortcuts that are right next to each other, S and D. And the way that comes in handy is like this. Say I am editing and I say, okay, I don't like this part, I don't like this part, and I want to get rid of that. All I did right there is press S, go to where else I don't like, press S, and now this part that's highlighted, I press D, and that's gone, and it pulls all of the other clips closer to it. And then if you do have multiple tracks that can't be cut by just S, that's where our Command K comes in. That will slice all of the tracks for you. Okay, great, and that's pretty much the end of the first tutorial. Now you know how to import footage and you know how to cut it. I'll see you guys for the next one.